family. Could you leave your family for a whole 12 months? This is a question that I'm asking myself today in particular because I've just put my two beautiful grandchildren to bed. They're spending the weekend with us and they are so full of joy and so bouncy and full of energy, and they bring so much joy and laughter and light into my life. Well, because they're a part of me. Um, and I got a little bit emotional. I started to feeling a bit emotional because the reality is starting to hit now with all of the planning that we're doing for our 12-month Southeast Asia trip, which is so exciting. But it's also, in some ways, for me, a little bittersweet feeling. And I just wanted to come and chat to you, really, and just to document my feelings and recognize my feelings and not be afraid to talk about my feelings, because we do tend to bottle up a lot of things and we feel embarrassed, or that we're being silly. But I think it's important to talk about your feelings, and that's taken me a very long time to have that mindset. I never used to be like that, and even now sometimes I'm still not like that. And I do keep things to myself, but as I've got older, I'm trying more and more and more to open up. And the thought of not seeing my grandchildren for a whole 12 months is difficult. Oh, I am sorry. Please bear with me. And because I think I know all too well, having brought up three children of my own, and I was also a foster carer for 6 years, I know all too well what 12 months, a difference 12 months can make to a child's life, and how they can grow and develop and change in that time. Because while 12 months doesn't sound long to most people, in a child's life, that's so much that happens in that 12 months. And I suppose I'm getting emotional from a selfish perspective, really, because I, I I will miss them, and I worry that I might lose that connection that I have with them and that bond that I have with them now, because we see them quite regularly and it's all hugs and kisses and love, and safety. They feel so safe with us. And I worry that, after 12 months away, are they going to back off a little bit? Are they going to be a little nervous about being around us? And will they be as loving, if you like, and tactile with us? Because that's important to me. And if they're not, obviously that's not their fault, that's mine, because I've decided to go on this adventure. And another thing that I've started to feel is a little bit guilty, and which is absolutely ironic, because last year I took some time out and I actually wrote a book, a very small book, um, and it was called Guilt Free Self Love. And the reason I wrote that was because I did spend a lifetime, I feel, feeling guilty for things that had happened in my past and decisions that I made in my past. And I carried that guilt for many, many years. And clearly, by writing my book, it was very therapeutic. And I believed that I'd come out the other side of that. But I'm slowly learning that actually it's an ongoing journey. And whilst we all feel guilty about things, I don't think it ever really goes away. I think you have to carry on working on it. And that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm working really, really hard to try and remove those guilty feelings of being selfish, I suppose. And I call it selfish. And Patrick always, tries to correct me when I say that, because he's right in what he says. It's not selfish. It's an adventure. I'm fulfilling my dreams. I'm fulfilling my desires and my heart. And why should that be selfish? I'm not doing it deliberately to hurt anybody else. I think it's just the pressure that we put on ourselves, isn't it? And at the moment, I'm feeling that I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself. So after getting quite emotional after putting the children to bed tonight and tidying up, as you can see, I stopped tidying up because I thought, no, I actually want to say something, because it's really important to me. And I hope I will look back on this video in the future and realise that all of my fears were all in my head. I'm hoping. But even so, they're real. They're real to me, and it is going to be bittersweet. And I'm going to miss them enormously, obviously, along with my own children and other family members and friends. So, yeah, it's not all plain sailing. Woohoo, let's go on this adventure. There's so much to consider, and there's so many emotions to consider. So I think I'm going to go away and I'm going to refresh myself on my book about guilt-free self-love, because it is important that we love ourselves, because we deserve it. We're worth it, every one of us. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So that's me for today. I just wanted to have a little chat. If this resonates with you, and if you're sitting there thinking, I could never leave my family for that amount of time, I get you. I so do. But equally, if you're sitting there saying, of course I could leave them and follow my dreams, that's not a bad thing. Just pop a comment in, because I would love to hear your thoughts. And maybe I'm hoping some of them will help me on this journey and make me feel a bit less guilty, which is all crazy. I know it is. But anyway, that's it for me today. Bye for now. Take care.